Yo, what the motions looking like? What's the motions looking like, yo? Emotions. Men's emotions. Man, I'm gonna try to tackle this subject. And it can't be in just one video either. It can't be in one video. Because right now we have a lot of things that folks are kind of closeting, not wanting to speak about, not wanting to bring about. And then we start to expose that there's this mental health pandemic that's going on with men. It's always been an issue with men. Men's health has always been an issue. There's always been where men have had the same emotions that every other person has out there. Men have had these emotions for eons. But what happens is, as men, there's a certain type of perception that men are supposed to be able to display. And that perception normally sides with strength, power, being stoic, this bravado, all of those different types of words that place you into this subhuman, or not subhuman, superhuman type of category. When we know that's not sustainable. It's not sustainable at all. We can't always be in that position. Now, some men embrace that. Some men embrace that. I happen to be one of those men who embrace that type of category. And only because of the way I was raised and what I saw and what I've been through. So it shaped and molded me to kind of closet some of the other emotions. Now, is that good? Nah, it's not always good. It's not always good because people that are close to me will absolutely know that something is off. Something's different, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold in certain emotions, and then it seeps out in other facets. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't, quiet the attitude. My sister says, yo, you can't stop the nose flare. You know what I mean? And so what happens as men is we push things in, we keep things deep, but it comes out. And when it comes out at the wrong time. It comes out at the wrong time. It becomes explosive. It becomes unmanageable. It becomes a massive detriment. And what we have to start doing as men is we have to start. Last video I talked about with communication, we have to communicate. We absolutely have to communicate what it is that we may be going through. No matter how much it feels as if it is going to make us look weaker, or that it's going to make us seem like we don't have any control anymore. Because when you communicate, like I talked about before in the past video, there's always that saying of two minds is better than one. And as men, if you are taking on and dealing with all of these emotions on your own, you don't have the ability to necessarily find out what's the answer or what options you have. You can't rationalize some of the stuff that you're going through because you're going through it. So sometimes when you speak to another person about what it is that you're going through, that person has the levelness. It's got to be the right person, but that person should have the levelness to be able to hear what you're saying. They're hearing it from the outside, looking in, and they can then offer their viewpoint of what's going on. And what my grandmother always taught me, because my grandmother was a practicing Buddhist. Her religion was Buddhism. And my grandmother always taught me, and even to this day it's so true. She always taught me, you know the answer. You know the answer. So what happens is sometimes when you're speaking to people, you start talking to them enough, and sometimes the folks that listen to you, they let you speak, and you start divulging all of this information. And then you ever realize sometimes mid-talk that you're like, oh, you know what? I know what's going on now. I know what the issue is now. It's what my grandmother used to always talk about. She was a therapist. And she used to just listen to people. Sit there and let them talk. And they're divulging all this information. But she always knew that it was going to come back to that they were going to have the answer. They knew the answer. You already know the answer. So part of what you should be looking at as a man is not looking at the fact that something that you're going to appear to be weak, as it is more of the more that you can get this stuff out of your head, out of your heart, out of your spirit, your soul, the more that you can get that information out, maybe, just maybe, the answer is lying within you being able to divulge your information, and that you need to hear what you're saying. You need to feel what you're saying. So don't look at it as, again, that you're in this position and folks are judging you, or you appear to be lesser than what you are. You're just trying to get the answer. And another person listening, another person talking to you can help you get to that answer much faster than you can. Plus, not to mention what tends to happen when you internalize and you keep whatever it is that you're being bothered by, you keep that inside. Oh, it wreaks havoc, man. It wreaks havoc. A lot of stress. That's why a lot of men have issues with heart attack, blood pressure, strokes, a lot of that stuff. Yeah, it's bad eating and stuff like that too, but you start having that stress, man, and you're not relieving that stress. It wreaks havoc. So think about that the next time that you're going through something. Find whoever it is that you feel that you can talk to and start divulging what it is that you're thinking about, that you're having problems with. Start divulging that. And maybe you'll find the answer on the other end of that. Either that person can help you out, or you'll find out the answer yourself. This is what we got to start doing as men. We got to start doing that. We're human like everybody else. We suffer like everybody else. You don't have to play this position of where you're invincible. You're impregnable. Nothing hurts you. You got this armor and you're good to go. Nah. And please don't get caught up with the fact that folks that you see around you, peers that are around you, people are talking online around you are saying a whole bunch of stuff about, whether it's snowflakes and all this other nonsense that you hear out there. Please don't misconstrue and think that these folks got their stuff together. Because I guarantee you, some of those folks are even wimpier than what you would even think that you are. Some of these folks are some straight little punks. The wimpiest cats you'll ever see. Some of those cats are. So, like I said, don't think that these other folks that are telling you or that are speaking about that how you're supposed to handle situations, that they got their situation under control. Work on this for yourself. Work on this as, hey, I'm going to better myself. Because you don't want to get into that position where what tends to happen is if you don't have your emotions under control, and I'm going to go into these other videos about decisions, you may make the wrong decision at the wrong time, and that split decision that you make in that moment could cost you your whole entire life. And it happens all the time. There's a prison filled of cats who made the wrong freaking decision at the wrong time because they had the emotions that they didn't get in check. And they did something, and now they can't ever take it back. Not only even folks that are in prison. There's folks that have done certain things to themselves, self-harm type stuff, can never take it back. They've affected families. They've affected kids. It gets deep, man. That's why the emotions, trying to be able to work on dealing with your emotions, is so important. Because as men, we have a different level of adrenaline that comes out of us. And it can get crazy. We all know it can get crazy. Don't let it get crazy. don't, the Incredible Hulk, that's almost how you can equate it to. You ain't gonna be as strong as the Incredible Hulk, but that's essentially what it is. You're cool, but you're going through all these different types of things, and it's starting to fester and it's bubbling up. And then it gets to that point where all of a sudden you want to erupt. And you can erupt and do the wrong thing. You can hurt folks around you that love you and care for you. You can hurt folks that are, bystanders. You can get hurt. Hey, we'll talk about that. You can get hurt. Believe that. So as men, first thing, you got things that you're going through. Sadness, loneliness, anger, whatever it is. Let's first start talking to someone. And hopefully we already have the answer of how we need to fix our problem. You know what I mean? So on that note, I gotta go get something to eat. I'm going to the park to go do my thing like I normally do. And as always, I'm gonna catch y'all on the next note. Peace out.